Check this out. I'm standing outside on my deck, enjoying the nice weather out here, but I'm also looking at the temperature of my brooder box that's inside. Let me show you how this works. Hey guys, welcome back to another Slightly Rednecked video. Again, my name's Chris. If you're not familiar with this channel, I help you to produce your own meat, eggs, and vegetables from your backyard, your balcony, your deck, your garage, or even a spare room in your house if that's the way you want to do it. And we're looking at my brooder box back here, but what I really want to show off is the new WiFi ITC-308 Wi-Fi. This controller is fantastic. This is an automatic temperature controller. It's got a 5-foot temperature probe, which is inside the brooder box right now, measuring the temperature. It keeps a track of that temperature, and better yet, it automatically sets that temperature. So you're gonna see when it gets up to 100 degrees, which will be just a few minutes here, it's at 99.5 right now, it's gonna kick off my heat lamp. It's got, it's pretty simple to use. You plug in the plug to the heating element, or the heating side. It's got a heating and a cooling plug. So if you wanted to use this to run maybe fans or something to cool off your brooder box, or to cool off your rabbit hutch or your quail hutch or something like that, then you could do it for that purposes as well. I will tell you, it's not recommended for outdoor use, so you'll need to protect it from the weather if you're gonna do something like that. And they also suggest you don't plug it into an extension cord because of the risk of electric shock. Now, take that for what it's worth, but if you do plug it into an extension cord, leave it outside, and it ends up, shocking you or frying or something like that, well, they warned you. Don't blame them for it. But again, it's an automatic temperature control, so you set the temperature that you want it to heat up to. When it reaches that temperature, it kicks the heater off and it quits heating up. It takes a minute to warm this brooder up, so it's going to take a little bit for that to get up to 100 degrees. So while we're working on that, while we're waiting for that to get up to temperature, let me show you what's really cool about that, and that is the app that comes with it. This thing connects to your Wi-Fi in your house, and then you can control everything right through the app. Very, very convenient. When I first log into the app, it's got my device set up right there. The app's really easy to set up. When I log in, it tells me the temperature. It's at 99.5. It tells me right here that my set value is at 100 degrees. Now I can just touch that and I can change that to whatever value I want. So when my quail are 2 weeks old and they don't need 100 degrees anymore, they need maybe 80 degrees, I can just set it to 80 degrees and it'll keep it at 80 degrees then. There are also other settings in here. So I go in and I've got a heating difference value. Now that is, I've got it set to 2 degrees right now. So that means it'll kick off at 100 degrees. It'll kick the heat back on at 98 degrees. It comes default at 3 degrees, but I found that when the brooder box starts cooling off and it gets to 97, the heat kicks on, but the temperature keeps dropping for a while before it takes time to warm up. So 2 degrees works out well for me, but experiment with it, see what works for you. It's got a cooling difference value. I'm not going to use that because I'm using it to heat, not to cool. But if you were using it to run fans or something like that, then you could set that value. Same thing. If you set it to kick on at 85 degrees, it's gonna kick off at 83 degrees. So I think, yes, hopefully I got that right. You get the idea. It's got a high temperature value, so I've got it set at 110 degrees. And that means at 110 degrees, and you'll notice we got up to 100 degrees, it kicked the light off. At 110 degrees, because that's my high temperature value, it's going to give me a notice, give me a warning. And that's probably the coolest thing about this. Not so much the high temperature, but the low temperature value. I've got it set at 95 degrees because, well, I want to demonstrate how this works. So we'll show you that here in just a moment. And it's got a refrigeration delay. So you could, that is for like if you're going to use it to run a refrigerator, a compressor, something like that. You set that delay so it's not just kicking your compressor on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, and just wearing it out. That's what that's for, so not important for me. It's got temperature calibration, so if you decide that, well, this thing isn't reading the temperature exactly right, I want to calibrate the temperature, you can do that. You can change the temperature calibration setting. And a temperature unit, so you can run it in Fahrenheit or Celsius. The other nice thing about this is the charts. It's got a temperature chart in here. Let me scroll over to where there we go, there's some data, because I just got this set up. And I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but it's a little graph. It's got the temperature on the side and the time of day over here. So it shows me what my temperature is over a period of time. If you want to watch that, that's pretty nice. Let's see, the other nice thing, well, like I said, right there's all your data right there. It's 99.5 degrees right now. 92 degrees. Let me change this setting a little bit so you can see. I'm going to change my low temperature setting to 98 degrees. So what's going to happen when it gets down to 98 degrees is that it's going to send an alarm on this controller, and it's also going to send me a notification on my phone. So we'll give it a minute to get down there, and you'll see how it works. It's also going to kick the light on, not because the temperature hit the low temperature warning, but because I've got the light set to come back on at 98 degrees. That's not necessarily correlating, but you'll see what happens here. That 1 degree, come on, there we go. So it gives me a notification on the controller itself. It also gives me notification on my phone. Turn that off, shut this off so we can talk about it. And that's probably the absolute best feature, because that means if you go to bed at night, you got your quail, the light on your quail, your birds in your brooder box, whatever kind of birds you're brooding, and you just go to bed at night, you're fast asleep, and your light bulb goes out in the middle of the night, burns out. You're not even going to know about it, and instead of waking up to dead birds, you're getting notified on your phone that there's something wrong, you need to go check on it. So very, very convenient. Let's see, what else about it? It's super easy to set up. You just download the simple app. You can do all the controls and fix everything right here on the controller itself, but it's so much easier to use the app. You just set it all up through the app. You download the app. You connect to your Wi-Fi through the app itself. Very easy to do that. Once it's connected, then you've just got all your controls right here on your phone. So incredibly simple. It works incredibly well. I'm super impressed with this. Now, I will tell you that Inkbird, the company, actually saw my other video I did using an older controller. I can't remember the model of the controller now, but I made a temperature control brooder box out of that. It was just a simple, had to have it, kind of wire it up in a box and all those kinds of things. And it worked pretty well. It did a great job, but it didn't connect to Wi-Fi. It didn't give me any notifications, and it wasn't nearly as easy to set as this. Not only that, but this is just a plug and play model. I mean, you connect it to your Wi-Fi, you plug it in, and you're good to go. It works fantastic. They sent me this unit to review, to shoot video on for you guys. I will leave a link down below where you can purchase one on your own if you would like to. I'm really looking forward to using this on my next set of quail. Being able to, just leave the birds in there, not worry about whether the light's burning out on them or not, getting notified if it does, and being able to adjust the temperature down instead of having to adjust the light to where I think is the right size is just a very convenient thing to be able to do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, God bless.